which can be inconvenient, but the TTK in this game is already really fast, so you don't really got to worry too much about, using a muffler. Okay. Alright, so hello gamers, Phantom Forces is very well known for having a wide variety of attachments, but some of the higher ranks will know that actually a lot of these attachments are pretty trash. They have gotten better lately with the suppressor rework, the grip rework, and everything like that, but there's still some attachments that are just absolutely atrocious, so today I'm going to be talking about some of the overrated attachments. Doesn't mean they're super trash, but just they're not quite as good as people think, and they also don't warrant the number of people that use them sometimes. But yeah, starting off, we have basically this entire category of sights. Now, I am going to be writing off a few of the attachments in this iron sight type category because a lot of these are pretty good. And by a lot, I mean like maybe 4. Not that many. Sights like the AAC flip-up sight, the IWI sight, these are actually, well, not that great on the Colt SMG, but these are really nice sights in certain cases. Like the IWI, the TAR-21 irons, these are really good. I really like these irons. They are not really the greatest, and they go like a foot off of your gun, as you can see from this, but some of these iron sights are pretty good, but a majority of them are absolutely not good, and I don't know why stylists went through the trouble to actually model these on every gun, but like, I guess they were already iron sights on a specific gun. Like, for example, I'm just gonna go over some of the worst ones, some of the absolutely awful contenders for possibly worst sight in the entire game. And people will run iron sights all the time, and a lot of the bad ones as well. Like, there are especially bad ones that nobody uses because nobody physically can. They're just so atrociously awful, but there's some that are just mediocre sights that you can get better sights earlier on in kills. And I'm not saying you can't use these. If you want to use the sights that are overrated, that's completely fine, and it is your opinion if you want to use them, but I'm just saying, like, objectively, they're obstructive sights with weird, not great reticles and stuff, but IWI sight is actually pretty good. The biggest contender here is the H&K sight. Now, the MP7 irons are not really too bad on the MP7 in particular, but I see these on like the BFG, and these are not great iron sights, I'm not gonna lie. The magnification is 2 times, which makes no sense. Then you have awful ones like the 1200M sight, which is the MSG90 iron. These are absolutely atrociously awful sights. Like, do not use these ones. I will see a ton of full ring and half ring sights, and these aren't abysmally bad, but here's the thing, these are 90 kill requirement sights. Like, you gotta keep in mind that you have something called a Delta sight, which is objectively one of the best sights in the game. It's just so clean, and yeah, maybe it's a little bit of my opinion. You even get the EOTech. Like, the EOTech is also a great sight, not on the Colt SMG, but yeah. I have seen this sight a couple times. This is the 1200M sight. Yeah, I can't even add anything to how bad that is. Next up, we have a grip, and this grip is going to be controversial. It's the skeleton grip, and please do not leave a hate comment. I'm talking about automatic guns, because clearly on a slow-firing DMR, sniper rifle, anything like that, this is a great grip for that because it will increase your aiming speed. However, people think that increasing your aiming speed on an auto gun is worth having that much more recoil, and simply put, it's not worth it. But I will still see this all the time. It is so crazy. All this gives you is better aiming speed and better swap speed. The swap speed is actually kind of underrated. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I rarely use my secondary, as most people do. Realistically, outside of like a machine pistol, how often do you really get killed by a secondary? It's not very often. Usually it's people using their primaries, so it's not really necessary to swap faster, but I actually find it to be an underrated thing that is good about this grip. But yeah, it just makes your recoil worse. Use it on every sniper, but please do not use it on an automatic gun. It's not that great. But next up, we have the pistol grip, and the pistol grip is a very good niche grip that is extremely powerful on, like 10 guns maybe. Here's the thing about it. That is not good. It reduces your rotational recoil by quite a bit, which can be really good on specific setups. For example, this setup, the X-Ring and the pistol grip on the HK416 makes it pretty good in terms of accuracy. It's not the most accurate you can make this gun, but it's kind of up there, and this is a great gun to use it on. It's actually the main gun to use it on, really. The K2, the HK21, maybe the HK51B. There are other guns to use the pistol grip on, but I will see it on the strangest, unnecessary guns. I see it on the BFG a lot, less after I started talking about it a little bit more. People seem to have wisened up about that, but yeah, the pistol grip is not a great recoil reduction grip overall. It is extremely powerful in a couple of scenarios, but it's not really the best for every single gun in the game. That's why it's an overrated attachment. It's not the greatest for everything, but yeah, it's very good on specific guns, just not like every single gun in the game, especially the Colt SMG. Now, do I really have to mention the next attachment? We all saw it was coming in the list, and yes, it is of course the Ballistics tracker, and this is probably one of the worst attachments you can ever put on a gun because it has a lot of downsides and it really doesn't have an upside that is great at all. Like, the diamond on people's heads is great for spotting people, but there's also this thing called just looking around and pressing E where you can spot people really easily, except apparently this guy. And that didn't even show up on the Ballistics tracker. What is this guy using? Freaking Ninja Pro from Modern Warfare 2. Also, why is my entire team right here? It will show a little diamond above people's heads, which is cool, but you can just press E and spot people really easily as well. And it's actually not really that great for going for headshots. Now, here's the downsides. First off, it will actually give you right side leaning recoil. This will make your recoil lean to the right, which is super annoying on autos. This is mostly used on sniper rifles, luckily, because I feel like it's definitely best on snipers, but I will see this on autos as well. And second most annoying thing about it is that it will make your aiming speed and handling swap speed, all the things like that, it'll make all those worse, which is annoying as well. But the most annoying thing is that it takes up your other slot that you could use for a laser. You could use it for a remove stock, a full stock, an attachment that will actually have a positive and big effect on your gun. This just has pretty much no effect on your gun. It's fine for spotting people, I guess, but you already have to be looking in their general direction. It's not great for really hitting headshots, and yeah, don't use it. It's just not... What am I? Next up, I'm going to talk about two ammo types very quickly. These are ammo types that I basically never recommend. First off, silent, and second off, tracerless. Now, silent is weird because it does have the advantage of making your gun a lot quieter. However, it has a massive downside, which is that it lowers your velocity by quite a lot. Now, this is pretty nice if you want to have no suppressor, but make your gun quieter. This is only on 7.62x51 guns, so like the M60, you know, some battle rifles. Like, wait, maybe not battle rifles, actually, which is weird. I think it should be on the FAL. It's the same ammo type as the M60. Anyways, it's on the M60, some bolt action snipers, and it will lower your velocity by quite a bit, and that's not really worth it. You could always just use a regular suppressor on a lot of these guns, like for example the K14. The K14 has silent, I think, and you could just use a suppressor. In fact, I literally use a suppressor because the regular suppressor has no downsides on a gun like that, but silent does. But people will use, you know, freaking flash hider, which really doesn't matter on a bolt action, and also use some garbage like silent ammo, which I'm not saying silent ammo is garbage. It does have a nice niche, but the velocity loss is really not worth it. Back before the suppressor rework and the suppressor buff, silent ammo was very good, considering like using a suppressor was basically killing any sniper rifle you use because it killed your velocity, it killed your damage. But now that a suppressor isn't really that big of a problem to use on your gun, it's not really as effective to be running this, but you know, you can, it's still pretty good. Next up, tracerless. This is an ammo type that I do see a lot, and I don't think the people who have it have the kills to get the actual ammo type, which is kind of scary because here's the thing about tracerless. You can still see the tracers on the gun. It just makes them slightly fainter, so you can see them still. And tracers never really mattered in this game anyway, because people don't really like camp 1,000 meters away. You can see them with your eyes. You don't need to see like the tracers. Basically, it just lowers your suppression and makes your hipfire accuracy worse. It's not worth it, and people will pre-buy as well. I don't recommend you use it, even if you have the kills for it. Also, it makes your recovery speed slower, which is weird. So it's basically just a slight disadvantage to a lot of advanced stats with nothing to really show for it, so don't use it. It's not worth it. Next up, we have an attachment that people have gotten a bit smarter about. Now, this attachment used to be super used and very good. However, lately it's not quite as great, and that is the muffler and maybe the oil filter. I feel like the oil filter is almost never worth using. I haven't seen these as much, but yeah, the muffler is kind of crazy now. It used to basically be the best suppressor in the game, except for the fact that it made you shoot slower, but basically what it does is it lowers your recoil, but it will lower your velocity by kind of a lot. Like, what is this velocity? It's not really lowering it by that much, but it's a noticeable amount. But yeah, basically, you got worse velocity, you got worse suppression, which doesn't really matter. But worst of all, you have worse rate of fire, which, you know, it can be an upside or a downside for some people. If your gun shoots a little bit too fast for your liking, maybe use a different gun over just using a muffler. But yeah, you can use a muffler too if you want to. This will slow your time to kill by quite a bit, but only 10%, so it's not really that bad. But if it's like the AUG 3 already 4-shot kill gun, maybe don't use it, because it's going to take a lot longer to get a kill, which can be inconvenient. But the TTK in this game is already really fast, so you don't really got to worry too much about, you know, using a muffler. Okay, don't kill me. Don't kill me. freaking KSG. Along that same vein, we have the oil filter, which I have never liked. This will make your gun very quiet, but it will shoot even slower than the muffler, as well as reducing your suppression by about 80%, which is pretty bad. And while it doesn't reduce damage necessarily, it reduces your damage ranges. So basically, if your gun can 3-hit kill, it can't do that as far. But, you know, your gun's really quiet and all. This is more of a meme ammo type attachment. I mean, it's really not that great, but if you want a gun that's extremely quiet, but you're giving up basically everything else about your gun, it's not too bad, but you may as well just use an integrally suppressed gun. Interesting attachments for sure, but not that great. Next up, we have something similar to the pistol grip. It's an attachment that is sometimes really good, but generally very, very bad, and that's hollow point ammo. Now, hollow point used to be super broken on the HK416, but it's not anymore. It's a lot more balanced now, but it's still pretty good. It's one of the few guns that I'd be like, yeah, you can use hollow point on it if you wanted to. I see hollow point though on stuff like the M4A1, where it doesn't increase the hits to kill, it just reduces them at range, reduces your headshot damage, and just makes the gun straight up a lot worse. And that's pretty cringe. I think that's bad. That's why this attachment is overrated, is because it's objectively really bad on a lot of the guns that people will use it on. It's not like the worst ammo attachment ever. A lot of the times it's pretty decent, or sometimes it's very good, but most of the time it's really not that great. Last but not least, we have an attachment that I've seen a couple of times and I should never see outside of people maybe trying to make the SVD, and that's the full stock on the SVD and the KS23M. I've seen these full stocks used before. Don't ever use them. There's no reason to use them. These are extremely slow guns. The recoil really doesn't matter on them. And using a full stock will just make them walk slower, swap slower. Sure, I guess the SVDS full stock looks cool and all, but like, use a remove stock, use the highest recoil, fastest aiming setup, because you may as well, you know what I'm saying? It also says stuff like the Halbig device. The Halbig device is sometimes decent. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Have a nice day. Okay. Oh, that hit marker. Oh, got him.